Probably was
a few months ago. But I didn't make it
Boy, it
over
was
there.
a
Imagine
full
they probably
house.
try to keep people
My
out.
mom
I was
PowerPoint
trying to
presentation.
deliver
It
something
doesn't
to
include
Heritage,
this
because, you know, you got
financials, because I thought that Cody
University
was gonna
House,
give them
Texana,
to
and
Dale,
Heritage.
but so Jenna has them
Dutton
printed
Garage.
out.
Okay.
But Cody has them for
And they had it
references,
blocked
it just
off
won't be on the
on the,
presentation, but everyone
you
here I
could
have
get
a
in on the
copy.
University
Okay.
See a problem
side,
with
but
that?
not on
No,
the
I don't see a problem.
Okay, I
with
just
it.
wanted you to know, so.
Yeah, we'll do it the old
Try to
fashioned.
keep
Yeah.
outside traffic.
Thank you for
down.
understanding, I
walking back and
apologize.
forth.
No problem.
And I was like, how in the world am I? I mean,
I
we
know, I
finally
just-
figured it out, but
Put 'em in code. I should not have made an
it was so
assumption. It's my
frustrating
fault.
because, you know, I'm
And I
accustomed
generally
to
add
being
them,
able to
so-
get to where I know where I need to go
Dang.
to
long as
get
they get-
closest to where, especially when I gotta carry stuff. And it's 100.
It's, yeah, 110 degrees outside.
We have a quorum, so I think it's time.
Let's do it.
Recording in progress.
Mr. Dixon.
Okay. Let's call the McLennan County Rural Transit District Board of Directors into action. So today is Thursday, August 22nd, 2024. It's 4 p.m. Proof of posting, please. Cody, proof of posting. Okay. Dustin, if you can hear me, if you can give proof of posting, so.
Yes, sir. The agenda was posted on August 19th at 3:30 p.m.
All right, thank you. All right, so before the meeting started, I swore in two new members, Jason Blanick and David Pratka. And then Steve Deutschman's is serving another 3-year term. So he can no longer be called the new guy with two other new guys coming on here. And just for those new members that are here, our job is to listen to the reports that are presented to us by the Rural Transit District, and our goal is to try to move people around within the community at a reasonable price. The vendor is Waco Transit, I guess, is you'd call the vendor of the what would you call the
Contractor.
pardon me, the contract is a contractor, thank you. And we look at the routes, they give us reports on activities within the community. The outlying communities like West and Mart and places like that on the far reaches, and Moody. We want to be sure that they're included. We're a net provider of jobs right here in McLennan County. We also have a broader hot cog rural transit district that moves folks in and out of the county as well. So that's basically what it is. And feel free to ask any questions. There's no question that if you have it on your mind, feel free to ask it. And so under items B is consideration or action, the following, the approval of the minutes from the prior meeting. The minutes have been included. Is there any questions on the minutes? Is there any additions or corrections?
Nope.
All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I so move.
Second.
All right, motion second, any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Under C is operations report, which includes riderships programs, revenues, expenses, equipment, marketing plans, and related matters. So under C1 is operations report. This is from June 1st of 24 to July 31st of 24. Serena?
Yes, sir. Thank you all for being here today. Dale's going to post up the presentation.
Dale, if you can put the presentation up. Okay. There we go, thank you.
Technical difficulties.
All right, next slide, please, Dale. All right, so today's agenda, we'll review the rural and commuter ridership statistics through July of 2024. It's for the fiscal year, so October the 1st through the end of last month. We'll do our total rural ridership for the fiscal year comparison. We'll do the ridership comparison by the demand response service, and we will look at the rural commuter bus route fiscal year comparison, and then we'll do the comparison of the rural commuter bus through July 2024. Next slide, please. So these are the ridership statistics. It shows that we are trending upwards. We have moved a total of 16,706 year to date. And for the month of July, we were at 18,043. And so we're just getting out. We've done some community visits. We went and had a visit with MART at their council meeting. And so we're just trying to make sure we stay engaged in the communities, talking to the different councils so that they understand what McLennan County Rural Transit District can do for their community. We've also continued to run our Route 10 and our Sanderson Farms route. As we've discussed historically, that Sanderson Farms is up and down depending on how their if they have a campaign for hiring, then we get a lot of ridership, and then once they kind of finish that, it'll level off based off of their hiring levels. But they do contribute for the service that we provide to them, and so they are a good partner.
So just for the new members, like Sanderson Farms is a good example, where they, they're not in the center of the city. They're kind of out on the edge, out on 8431 area out that way. But they want to be sure that potential employees can access the facility easily by helping on the transportation. So they make an arrangement with Rural Transit District to subsidize their employees. So, and the other thing is, in some of these other businesses too, they don't want that many cars parked on their lot. They've got trucks coming in and out, so it helps them keep the amount of cars down in the lots as well. Some of their employees come from adjoining counties, a lot from Falls County as well. And so that's and I think Sanderson Farms might have been one of the first ones.
Yes, sir.
They also do like a pre-tax, like they can purchase a bus pass through through Sanderson Farms, and they just take it off with a paycheck. So like when they're new hires, that's one of the only companies that do that with us.
Okay.
And we also provide services for them from 12 midnight to like 2 in the morning because they have some non-traditional hour shifts. And so in order for them to guarantee their employees can get there and get back home, because our traditional routes end about 7:15, 8:15 during the week, we provide that service for them till 2 in the morning. So we try to be creative and assist in the community where we can. Any questions?
No, I mean, in the same way, kind of the big categories are workforce movement, people with medical, need to move for medical reasons, they need to come in for dialysis or different things, can schedule. And then, did I say education? But as we expand education, one of the big initiatives in McLennan County is workforce education. And so getting them to TSTC, and the city and the county and TSTC partnered on what's called the work site out in the industrial area. And it'll be ready to go in early 25, I think. And so this will bring, we don't want transportation to be an inhibiting factor from getting to trade school and those things, but also later on is possibly working from, let's say they work at Caterpillar, but they want to go to the work site for upskilling, then they can arrange and would possibly create new routes and those things to accommodate that as well.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for letting me interrupt.
No worries. Next slide, please. So this slide, it just gives you a comparison for each fiscal year, going back to 2021. And I am going to make sure we change our 2022 color from blue, but just so you're aware, we are the 1843 blue. So you can see how we're trending back up pre-COVID numbers, but those blues, I'll visit with our staff and we'll get that color adjusted. But we are
Okay.
trending up, and we're really trying to push the non-traditional use of public transportation. We know our core riders, often those that have medical appointments and workforce, but we're trying to encourage when we go to these council meetings that this service is for anything that you need transportation for. If you need to come into the city, if you want to get a haircut, if you want to go out to eat, we're trying to show them that public transit is transportation. It is not specific to like a lower socioeconomic situation. It is about if you need to go somewhere, we have this viable option for you. And so we're really trying to change how we tell the story about public transit so that, you know, it doesn't have that same negative connotation attached to it that so many people believe. And so I believe talking to the councils and going out and explaining that, they're more open to saying, okay, I could just use it to come into Waco to do anything. And so we've gotten a good response, and I think that's one of the reasons why our numbers are trending up. So thank you all for the suggestions as to where we can visit to keep telling the story. Next slide, please. And here again, it is just going to give you the comparison for each fiscal year. I'd just like for you guys to see where 2021, we were really great. Now we went down based off of COVID, and you can see that we're slowly trending, and we're about to get past 2021 numbers, and that's a good thing for our system. We still have some growth in some other areas, like our 5310 program, that's some contracted service, and our Medicaid dollars, which are an excellent source for our local match. But as we continue to work internally to increase our presence and our financial support from programs like Medicaid, it just benefits the program across the board. It puts us in an ideal position to draw down additional federal dollars. Next slide, please, Deb. Again, a fiscal year comparison, and we are purple, and so this just includes, this is the rural commuter service. And so we have some new members to the board. So last year, we had a request from Falls County Judge that we no longer provide service in their area. And so we ceased to provide that service, but we still are on the edge. We go to Mart, but we won't go into Marlin. And so we saw a little dip in our ridership. And so we have been actively and proactively identifying different locations that we can have that commuter service so that we can bring people into the city. Oftentimes, smaller communities just are not aware of the service that we provide. And if we don't do our due diligence to spread the message, people who may need dialysis or people who just want to go out to eat, they don't know, so they don't use it. And so we can see again where we are. Our numbers are trending upward, which is a good thing for our dollars, because ridership equates to our financial funding.
What do you consider rural? Where do you draw the line?
We stay within McLennan County, and we can go to one county adjacent of us. And so, but we can't go past that. That would be the Heart of Texas Council of Governments service area. But as long as the trip originates in McLennan County, any city within McLennan County, we can provide that service.
Now, I think, just so kind of bring you up to what's happened in history with rural transportation is about, how many years ago did we?
Nine July.
Pardon me?
It was 9 years in July.
9 years ago. So the mayor at the time and myself started looking at how the funds for transportation in HOTCOG, the Heart of Texas Council of Governments, was allocated. So the money comes out of TxDOT in to bring into, and it's based on population. So we started doing the math on how many dollars are spent per citizen of McLennan County compared to these other counties, and we were getting fractions. And actually, this is where the money needs to come because, like I said, we're the net provider of jobs. And so we need to have a lot of robust movement. And so we asked them to correct it, and they didn't. And so the mayor and myself and Commissioner Will Jones went to TxDOT and asked for allocation of our money directly to us, and we split off. Just to, our thought was taxpayers would want McLennan County wanted a fair shake, and it was our job to be sure we got it. And so for 9 years, we've operated separately, but then we do cross paths and we work on these edges. And, at some point in time, maybe reevaluate that, and then in 21 is when COVID hit, also changed both theirs and ours on ridership and those kind of things. So that's why McLennan County is separate out of the hot cog area.
But we can go in adjacent county if
For
the
the
need
surrounding
be.
6, we can visit. One has to either begin or end in McLennan County.
Okay?
Yeah, next slide, please. And so this is our commuter service. This is the service that feeds directly into our fixed route system. And so we kind of separate that out because the demand response is where people can call our scheduling office, and it's a curb-to-curb type service where we pick them up at their home and take them into the destination, where if it's in McLennan County or one of those adjacent counties, that's the demand response. So just kind of understand the difference. But the commuter is a set route that picks up at certain times, and then it feeds into our downtown transfer terminal. So it's two different type of trips, but they all fall under McLennan County. So just so you kind of understood the difference in when we talk about the demand response and the commuter service, okay? And you can see again, we're trending, we lost those, we are trending well. It's just that we got to continue to tell our story and advocate for what we have going on. And we're in a good position, but there's always work that we can do to continue to tell the story. Okay. Any questions about ridership, service delivery?
I got a quick question.
Yes, sir.
The survey, did y'all get any good responses from the survey that you did 3 months ago?
We did. So we are looking at expanding the service area from McLennan. And so we created a survey so that we can kind of identify the areas that felt like it could be additional needs and that we can meet. And so we were able to create some additional service area, kind of like in the China Spring area that's going to feed into. And so we'll implement that service on September the 2nd. And then we'll just continue to gauge it, but we keep the survey live so that people still have the opportunity, because with us just starting the service, if people start seeing it out there and they think, this might be a great place that we could put an additional stop to put people in, then we want to make sure that we don't close out that opportunity to communicate with us as a service deliverer. So we will start some stuff in China Spring, feeding into Waco, and try to help meet that need. And additionally, we'll provide some service that will kind of meet that area out there, kind of by the airport, and then feed back into the core of the city. So we'll bring you guys some statistics and some data on those new services once they're implemented.
Okay. I was just hoping that y'all were gonna get some good, participation. You never can tell.
Yeah, and I'll bring those statistics in to show y'all actually how many people replied to the survey that we posted. And like I said, it's still live, but I can give you guys some data so that you see we made data-driven decisions, not just subjective to what people thought would be best. We really try to let those numbers drive where we put the dollars.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'd like to see that.
Any other ridership questions?
Not really a question, but just a couple of thoughts listening to some of what you were talking about. I'm from Lorena, and so we're still on target for, last I checked, was September, October. Bright Farms indoor greenhouse is supposed to be coming online, and so you mentioned Sanderson Farms. That may be another potential
Thank you.
partner for this type of thing, because I know they're supposed to be bringing in around 100 people to work in stages. They're going to open the half, and then the other half is supposed to open by the end of the year. So that's a potential, maybe another partner
Yes, sir.
that you could look at. It's sort of on the edge of the county. And then you mentioned trying to get some word out about the rider program and that sort of thing. Have you looked at the churches that are centralized with things like the food pantries?
We do. We actually work with Shepherd Hearts, and we do a First Friday free food drive partnership with them at Waco Transit. And so we actually have vehicles out there in McLennan County. If people want to they come into Waco, they participate on that Friday, and then we take them back.
Well, more so on my thought was more so on the people that maybe didn't need to know that they have access to this type of thing. Because I know like the Methodist Church, it's a volunteer pantry. Say Amen is the pantry.
Okay.
But they're very close to the community. And so they kind of know and identify people that maybe could use the service, in particular the medical side of it. I think they'll be more in contact with those type of people.
What was the name of the church?
It's a Methodist church in Marina. But
Okay.
The pantry is Say Amen Pantry.
Okay.
It's across the street from the other one. And so, but I know the people that run that one, and they're particularly close to the community, so where they have the medical side of it, they could probably get that word out a little bit more for you.
Thank you very much. And I'll make sure I get your information so that we can kind of collaborate with anything else that you can have us. Because again, it's about telling the story. And if they don't know, they don't have
Well, that's what I
access.
think, is a lot of this, they just don't know, and they're close, like I say, they're so close to that I know, I don't know that Lorena has a huge concentration of it, but there is some of the older people or the medical side of it that I think would be beneficial for that, on the edge of a county like that, even in the city.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're also going to try to push the information to the students about Amtrak, rather than driving to McGregor and park, because the parking there at the Amtrak station in McGregor is not very big. I mean, I really wouldn't want to. And a lot of times they'll contact us and that car end up parked at my house. And I don't really care for that either. So, I mean, I don't mind it. It doesn't happen very often, but, hey, there's an option for you to get a very reasonably priced transportation to the train station, which also is a very reasonably priced trip to Dallas or Fort Worth, actually, is where they go first. And, because that's the cheapest way to go right there when you're a student with meager means,
And it's $3 for us to take them there.
It's a deal.
So definitely. And I'll reach out and see if maybe there's a opportunity for us. We did go to the orientation at Baylor, and maybe we can put some information in our information packets regarding being able to have that shuttle that could take them out there, because we're back to if they don't know, they can't access it. So that's an opportunity for us to make sure.
I know you guys, I know it's called the Dash.
Yes, well, they used to, Waco Transit used to have the shuttle called the Dash, but they no longer have the Dash, but they still provide.
That little, it's kind of, I think those little cars are made in England.
The trolley.
Okay, I think he's talking about the micro dash.
The Micro Dash,
Yes.
but it doesn't service Baylor.
I'm sorry?
The Micro Dash doesn't service Baylor. It's like, it has 3
Zones.
unique zones, and Baylor's not in the zone.
Correct, because we went through the route realignment study for Waco Transit System. And so the micro transit is set up to address transportation gaps. And so we had the public hearing, we went through the process to try to identify the best locations at that time. The council approved those 3 zones because based off of our gap analysis, it would be most prudent to put that service in those areas. Baylor has specific routes for Baylor, and then we also have, Route 9 that goes through Baylor. And so to provide additional microtransit in an area that has service delivery, it wouldn't be fair to an area like out by MCC, where there's a total area that doesn't have fixed route service. And so that's how we identified those microtransit zones. And as we continue to grow, we will be including some of McLennan County to kind of test that, but that's a real expensive service to provide. And so that's why it's really about where are the gaps in the community so we can bridge that, make that connection, and then continue to provide that service. But we're going to always reevaluate those areas, but Baylor's got 5 buses,
I
committed
hear
to
you.
them, and
I just
so.
mentioned it because I wanted to use it to test it out. And, one of my vehicles was in the shop, so I was like, I'm gonna, I go, I'm gonna try it out. And I was like, how come this doesn't work? I downloaded the app and everything. And
We do offer it in
I
the
figured it
evening.
out. So I had to call
Anyway.
Uber, and I don't like Uber.
It's still
I
in
won't call Uber.
But it's not in the zone.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
But, I mean, that's fine. Also, Zipcar is gone because Baylor used to have the little Zipcar thing. I wasn't a Baylor program, but I was like, well, that's not even an option anymore. So,
But we'll keep evaluating them, and as additional funding comes in, I can talk with Matt Penny and see if it's a pilot that they may want to explore. But, we're really just trying to make sure that we allocate the resources in a responsible manner throughout McLennan County.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why we go through that public hearing process, so that it's driven by the need, and people can't say, well, Serena just put it in Baylor because Baylor asked for it.
I hear you. I completely understand. I mean, it's just,
Great question, though. Great question.
Okay. That completes your report?
Yes, sir. Ridership's complete.
Next is financial.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna apologize, y'all don't have a large electronic copy, so you're gonna have to refer to your paper. I thought Cody was gonna include it, and she didn't, that's my misunderstanding. I wasn't aware we're gonna have new people, so I didn't really prepare about basic breakdown of our funding, but I can give you the gist of it. We are funded by the state of Texas as well as the Federal Transit Administration, but it's passed through the state of Texas, or through TxDOT. And then we have additional local funding like advertising funds and like a scheduling fund that we get from working with Meals on Wheels, as well as Medicaid and like bench and, like I said, exterior advertising. Overall, everything comes through TxDOT that's grant funded. It's based off ridership and population or land mass. Trying to think what other basic. If y'all have questions about funding purposes in regards to McLennan County Rural Transit, I can give you a card and y'all can send me an email and I can give you a whole breakdown of it. But that's the basic funding of McLennan County. On the financials I sent out, we are actually running under budget this is through July. I did want to make a note on the agenda. It says June 1st, 2024 through July 31st, but it's actually October 31st, or October 1st through July 31st. So
Okay.
there's a
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
just want to make that note. And then, overall, like I said, we're running under budget. Our expenses are for 10 months into the year. We're at about 53%, which is pretty good. I don't know if y'all have any questions. It's a lot of information, I understand.
Yeah, without the grants, they couldn't offer $3 rides. So that's both the federal transportation and TxDOT funding are both to get people moving around, no matter what their socioeconomic situation is, but also convenience as well. So as you mentioned, anybody can use it. And but the thing that I just still struggle with why we have not really recovered from the COVID time, where we were running pretty high and then things dropped up. I don't know if people change the way they do things. I mean, a lot of that's,
Home, baby.
yeah, but I don't think there's that many people that are working from home relative to before that would cause transportation or some of these other issues. In the bigger cities, yeah, I can see that. I mean, there's vacant office buildings because so many people work from home, but I don't know. And I know we've had a, active marketing program and those kind of things, but
Some of the marketing trends suggest that rural city populations just, people relocated after COVID. Jobs were, some of the cities lost their core population, and so that may be some of the impacts. I would have to kind of analyze our specific cities in McLennan County to see if that may have impacted those that were utilizing our services. But we're trending up. We're telling that story. We're trying to change the narrative with respect to what we do and why we do it. And I think that if we stay diligent in that process, that we will regain ridership in those areas. Great suggestions from board members that allow us the opportunity to talk with their councils in those smaller cities so that they see us, they touch us, they know us, they see a vehicle, and then I think that creates a level of comfort for them to utilize the service. And so we're going to keep that hard work up, Judge Felton, because we want to get to those numbers as well.
Well, you know, the contractor, we're not the only area they contract in, so they probably have a pretty good, y'all have a good knowledge about what goes on across the United States. But if you do see something that is, gives us good, clear reasons why this doesn't happen anymore, and this may be the opportunity, well, I think the board sure would like to see that.
Yes, sir.
And then, prior to COVID, we actually got in a pretty robust marketing campaign. We actually hired, Holly Tucker to do a ad, and, you know, marketing's kind of hard. You don't know always whether you get your dollars back. It's, you think you do. I mean, why does everybody use it if it didn't work? And it's kind of the country boy way to figure it out. But you know, if that's, and times were good, you know, and since then it's been turmoil, even though our economy basically has been pretty good. Everything else is turned upside down. So I don't know, it's just puzzling to me why we haven't bounced back. And it's not just this transportation. We see it in a lot of different things. How people just act different now than they used to, and react different as well. Anything else on financials?
The only other thing is that we received 2 new vehicles in July. They were received by Steve, our maintenance director, and they'll be put into service within about 6 to 8 weeks, we're hoping.
What kind of vehicles are they?
Cutaways, like the white vans, the
Gavals.
Global,
Two low floor vans.
Yeah.
With a stronger, we had Ford Transit, that's what we have been going with historically, so that we can match the fleet up. And we identified that maybe for some of those rural areas and the distance we travel, we needed a little sturdier vehicle than the Ford Transits. And so we transitioned to a bigger kind of base on it. But we got those in. We need to get the radios installed. We'll have to get them painted, but we are ready to put them in service. And I'll bring you all some pictures to our next board meeting once
Yeah,
they're
that'd be
ready,
good.
once they're labeled.
And then you have adequate number of sedans for the individual calls and those kind of things.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Good
sir.
shape there.
Yes, sir. We try to do more grouping. It's more cost effective, but we have those anomalies out there, and we have those smaller vehicles for that.
Okay.
And I just want to make one clarification. When we talk about the Medicaid dollars, that's another contracted fund that we have that brings in those local revenues for us, matching dollars. And that's the service that a trip can originate outside of McLennan County. It would have to be a contracted Medicaid, but a trip for McLennan County has to originate in McLennan County, and it can cross over, but it can't originate in their county.
Yeah.
And we take it. It's their trip. But a Medicaid trip, it can originate in any county because we're the contractor. So I just didn't want there to be some confusion. I know she said that it could be in or out, but it has to originate within our county.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
Yes, sir. I know we have some newbies, so.
Yeah, we do. And we're gonna let them introduce themselves in a minute.
I have one quick question. Sorry, Judge.
Now, go ahead.
On the bottom part of this financial report, where we have the grants, it looks like they are expiring. Do we renew those? Or
Yes.
I think I ask this question every year.
She actually just
Bad memory.
executed a couple of them today, and one of them we are waiting on the feds to fund TxDOT. It should be available to us by next Friday. Our program manager informed us today.
Like all of those or,
Yes, all of them.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
I can give you I'll give updated amounts at the next meeting. The only one we haven't received is 5339, which is our bus and bus facility, but that one's always,
A little
like,
later.
it's either late or the beginning of the next year.
Got it. And then just a P&L question. If our expenses are $1,297,000 and the revenues, actual are $1,086,000.
So we don't receive our reimbursement. It takes typically the 30 to 45 days for us to receive our reimbursement from TxDOT. I don't show the revenue on here until we receive the funds.
Got it. So some of these some of these grants push over, or the remaining
Yes.
grants push over into the rev, okay.
Yes,
Perfect.
but I don't ever like document our revenue until it's received.
Got it. Good. Both good answers.
And so, actually under E is about grants, and so that question does give us something that we did talk about. So I'd like to go back and ask if there's not any other questions for a motion to approve the report on item C on operations, C1 operations report.
So moved.
D, financial report, and E, approvals on ratifications of grants and those kind of things.
You need separate motions for each?
No,
right?
no,
Oh, really? We can do them all at once?
Yeah,
I move we approve C, D, and E.
all right. All right, motion and second, these are approved for recording purposes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Oppose, pass. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, I'd like just to take a minute. First of all, there's a guy watching us, and that's our attorney, Mike Dixon. And evidently we did not too bad. He hadn't called me out.
Uh-oh, he's fixing
He hadn't forgotten to turn off his mute button.
We woke up a sleeping lion. Mike, did we do okay? Can't hear you.
He's probably been trying to stop us all day.
He's muted.
No, you did great.
All right, thank you. All right, we've got two new members, and if y'all would, start with Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live.
Jason
Anything?
Black, in Marina, Texas, on the east side of the highway. I did have Shipley Donuts, 3 Shipley Donut locations in Hewitt and Woodway, and sold those in March, so I'm currently retired.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
How about that? That's great.
Don't know for how long, but right now,
You're a young man.
What did you guys say?
Crossroads and Robinson.
Oh, and Robinson.
Yeah, that's a nice little building there, too. And, all right.
Somebody said, hey, we need somebody with common sense. I don't know whether they come after me. But anyway, after 8 years, for some reason, I didn't learn anything, and I ran for mayor, and I got it, and now it's a different kind of a headache.
What kind of business?
I work for Secor Family Ford. I've been there a lot of years. I do warranty administration and all their IT stuff and security cameras, and
Yeah.
if I need to pick up a broom, I'll do that too. So
Yeah, that's good.
That's,
Job security.
that's, yeah. City West is only like $5 a day, so that's my day job is Secor.
You make it way more than I am.
Is it? Well, we're just high rolling on the north end, I guess.
You get exactly nothing.
Well, sure glad both y'all decided to serve and join us, and I appreciate the question. Any question is welcome, I can tell you that. And so, if,
You talked about marketing.
Yes, sir.
I wonder, have you done any social media type of things, Facebook and targeted, that sort of stuff?
Yes, sir.
So we share our marketing director with Waco Transit, but she handles both of them. And then we have a mobility manager that goes around and pretty much like physically knocks on doors, puts magnets on doors, things like that. We have commercial.
Well, I know that, and I don't know what Shipley uses, but they have a target, some kind of targeted marketing that tracks your phone. Is it
Okay.
similar to that?
Probably not, because financially, we're probably,
I don't know, like I said, I don't know what it is or what it costs or whatever, but
So
they have, whatever it is they use, it's, some kind of technology that actually tracks where your phone goes, so it tracks from where it started to where you pass through to the day and that sort of thing. And so they do what they call geofencing. They do it, so they pick a spot around, find the stores, and they go around the stores. The phone passes through that circle, you get an ad or you get whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if this can be used the same way, that you can target the, your dedicated routes and that sort of thing. People that are kind of passing through that area, if maybe that's something to look into on the marketing side of it.
yes, sir, that was great information. I'll make sure that we cascade it down to our marketing director and see if it's something that we can implement, and
I'm
then.
sure they know what it is.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
say they call it geofencing is what the marketing calls it. I don't know that it's, that far out of bounds as far as fees. That's
Thank you.
Geofencing is very good. It's the only reason we've got a Starbucks and a McDonald's. They basically looked at all of everyone that would come into West and stop, and then where they'd come from, and that's what kind of pushed that. So it's very useful.
It works. I was in Cabela's, and I went all the way back to the clothing area to get something I was leaving out. And my son said, "Hey, let's go over here to the fishing side over here. I need to get something," whatever it was. Both of us on our phones, an ad popped up on Cabela's fishing gear.
Wow. Even within the store?
In the store, we were in the store.
And the department within the store.
I mean, they profiled us and said these guys hadn't got enough sense to find you. They sent us over to the worms. All right, if there's not anything else to come before this esteemed group, well, thanks for coming, and we stand adjourned.